What's up, everyone? Another podcast special fueled by purpose. We are here with the lovely Jessie Wu. Marcus is in the building per usual.
I don't know what to say now. That's what I was supposed to say. Jess, you're Haitian. That's how I have to start because I'm Haitian. We have to start with you being Haitian. But the question is because we're both Haitian, and you know
I'm kind of Haitian because I like Haiti.
Yes.
Haitian.
You gotta give me that.
A Haitian by
She goes to
association.
Haiti all the time. She goes to Haiti all
People be like,
the time.
you been here that much?
Yes. That's
She
okay.
loves
She
it.
can say she's
But
Haitian
you don't
too.
be
That's
laughing because
fine
I
with
can
me.
be a little bit. And they just
know what I mean?
approve that.
That's
You see
fine.
I
that?
approve it. We approve.
But the question is like, how Haitian are you? Like, you know that question. You heard, like, how Haitian are you?
I'm so Haitian. I wear socks with open toe shoes.
Okay, all right, that's Haitian. But like, you just had the flu. Did you get the rub down with Louis?
No, because my mom's not here and my grandma's not here, so I didn't get the Louis Masquiti. I didn't get the bang. I didn't get none of that. I had to settle for Theraflu and prayer.
Damn.
And hope for the best.
Louis Masquiti is like
It's castor oil.
It's castor oil.
But it's Haitian castor
Y'all
oil.
gotta teach me.
Yeah. Like, I'm so Haitian that like, if I got the hiccups, my parents put a piece of thread on my forehead. So, like, that ever happened to you? You experienced that before?
I thought they don't do that to kids.
Nah, well, I was a kid. Like, they don't do it anymore, but like, they put a piece of thread on your forehead.
Yo.
So the hiccups will go away.
And it goes away?
Yeah, supposedly. Yeah.
I guess so.
I never heard of this. This is new.
Yeah, it's just, exactly. It's just like
I'm learning about my culture.
life of. You were born in Canada, which is very Haitian.
Variation.
Tell us about the, kind of the transition of being born in Canada. Were you raised in Canada at all?
I was there about until I was like 7 or 8. Then I went to Florida. My parents divorced. My mom packed up and we moved to Miami. And
Which is also very Haitian.
very Haitian too. It's
so close.
Yeah. It's like it's a big Caribbean population in Miami. Like Miami, a lot of people like associate it with like being Latino, but there's a whole other side which is, Jamaican, Haitian, Trini, Bahamian, Virgin Islands. So it didn't take much for us to fit in. We fit right on in, because Miami's like Montreal. They're both melting pots. So.
Nice. So I guess being on Fueled by Purpose, we have to ask you, how is your purpose defined by you?
I feel like purpose. How do you define your purpose? I feel like I'm still trying to define my purpose.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like it's something that's ongoing?
Yeah, it's an ongoing thing. I listen to TD Jakes a lot, and TD Jakes has something that he says, I'm paraphrasing, but he says your passion will lead you to your purpose. So I'm definitely passionate about the arts. Like I've always been passionate about music. I've always been passionate about comedy, television, and then I've always been passionate about kids. I was a children's ministry leader for a very long time. A lot of people don't know that about me, but I was doing that at a mega church in Miami for years. So I think things that I've always been passionate about did lead me to my purpose, sort of, but I'm still trying to figure out what is my ultimate purpose in life. That's something that's still ongoing for me.
So it's ongoing,
Yeah.
evolving. I feel like we find that's a lot of the times that's really everyone's
Yeah,
answer
exactly.
is like, because purpose is not like just a now thing. It's like over time.
Yeah.
'Cause sometimes you could be in your purpose at that moment,
Right.
but then a couple
Right.
months down the line, your
Right.
purpose might change to something else.
Yeah. I feel like ultimately, though, just in general, I think my purpose is to be a light. I think that's
Say
my
that again,
purpose.
To be a light.
To be a light. Just to be a light. To be a light in a lot of dark places. It's a lot of dark things that happen around here. And sometimes I do feel like I get put in certain situations just to bring the light, and to bring.
That's a heavy burden to bring light to darkness.
Yeah, it is. But I think that just when I look at my life, like I've always been someone who wasn't afraid to speak truths. For instance, like I've always spoken the truth. Even there's been times when like I was ridiculed for it, but you know, in the end, like I always end up being right.
When is the time that you've been ridiculed for it?
Oh, so many times. So many times.
Is there any in particular like stands out?
Oh, like I'll never forget. It's so funny because this time last year I was on Love and Hip Hop, and I remember being on the show and talking about a manager that was on the show and saying how he was stealing my ideas and that he was, you know, just doing a lot of shady things. And I was ridiculed the entire season for it, like the entire season. Then, you know, the reunion. And then, so I decided not to come back. They asked me to come back and I was like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Because for you feel like your integrity is bigger than money?
Not just that, but also, you know how television is sometimes where they rather sensationalize than actually show truths.
Right.
So they'll show certain things. They won't show both sides. They won't show everything because it's not good for TV. You know what I mean? So then it's so funny because the new season recently premiered, and everything that I said is now being played out. Everything that I said about that person using my ideas or, you know, just being shady overall, now that same manager is stealing from two people on the show.
You need to get back on the show.
So, no, I don't. Absolutely not.
I mean, you feel like, so to you, I
don't see a problem with it.
Is that hurting your brand being on there because of?
Oh, yeah. I think whether you realize it or not, a lot of times I think that particular franchise, maybe not all reality television shows, but I think that particular franchise, it doesn't really help what you're trying to do. Like at the time, you know, I was being ridiculed for a lot of different things, like music and everything. And then I waited. I almost didn't even release music this last year because of my experience on the show and just experiences just throughout the years.
Did that affect you and your mental health at all, personally?
Oh, yeah. Like this time last year, I was bad. I was bad because I was just watching it and I was like, this is not how this went. Like, just, they purposely put me in a cubicle alone. And there would be a lot of scenes where people spoke up for me. They didn't show that. They always showed me kind of off on the side on my own with no support. And me it just looked like I was pulling for air, like just pulling things out of my ass. I'm sorry.
No, you good.
And then literally, so I was like, no, like I know this is not how this happened. I know I wouldn't react this way. Like if they didn't show everything. So for me, I was like, no. So then now when I look back at it and I'm like, oh, so the same person did what to you now? Oh, okay. But back then you didn't want to speak up. When I was saying it back then, you didn't want to speak up for me. So
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just things like that. I always felt like I've always been in that type of situation where I've always told the truth. I've always shed light in very, very dark places. And in the moment, nobody believes me. You know, even on that show, I spoke about, you know, being sexually assaulted. And again, a bunch of people didn't believe me. Well, the people responsible, it's a whole laundry list of other girls coming against, you know, the same people. So it's just, I just felt like I've always been in the hard position where it's, if you speak up, you run the risk of people turning their backs on you, or you run the risk of not being liked. But I've always stood in my truth. And in the end, like, I've always had vengeance, which is I've always ended up being right.
Did you know what you were getting into when you first got on the show?
I feel like yes and no, just because I think that everybody's experience going into just anything is going to be different, you know? And I think for me, it was I was spending a lot of time with the creator of the show, and she's Haitian as well. And, you know, she just promised a lot of things. And, you know, especially when it came to like Haiti, you guys know, well, I don't know if you know, but Angela, you know, I talk about Haiti all the time, and I use my platform to talk about Haiti all the time. So there were things that were promised to where we were going to go to Haiti and we were going to showcase the country and we were going to do all these different things. And that, of course, did not happen. But I think, again, just going back to purpose, it didn't happen on the show, but God granted me the opportunity to do it on my own. And I went on and I recorded music. I went to Haiti and I shot a music video.
Yeah, I saw that. That was dope.
Yeah, and so everything that was not done, you know, I ended up doing anyway, because that was my purpose. You know?
So you do, I mean, like, I guess it's really for everybody. You feel like truth over everything. You know what I mean? Like, is everyone in here, like, willing to always, like, speak up even when you feel like you'll be ridiculed? Because I feel like we're in a time where sometimes people won't. Like you were saying, like, there are some people who won't step up and be like, yo, like, this is how I feel and I'm sticking with this. A lot of the times, what I'm seeing is one person says it and everybody stands behind that person. You know what I mean? There are some leaders like in our generation, but I'm just like now speaking in a room full of a lot of leaders, and I'm just wondering, like, are there times where that happened to you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it speaks to your point about understanding purpose, because not everybody's called to be the spokesperson.
Right.
So to speak. Some of us are called to the background and support, and there's others who I feel like God or the universe will put you in places or spaces where you are standing alone. But that's where getting connected to your purpose becomes so vital and crucial, because when those moments happen, they don't completely derail you, like to the gutter. I've had it, I mean, every other day.
You're like, well, this is it, and I'm standing in it.
Standing by myself, saying X, Y, and Z, or speaking out about something. But I understand that that's connected to who God has called me to be in every space that I'm in.
Right.
So when those moments happen, I know that to be so true about myself that I'm not afraid to say, no, that's not right. Or we should be doing it like this. Or finding the opportune time to speak out instead of always blurting it out, but understanding how
when. I know for me, I'm always,
how to navigate.
I'm willing to say what I got to say. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I'm like, this is how I feel. Hi, I don't care.
Sometimes you got to mind your business, though, too.
100%.
There are times when you got to mind your business.
Every assignment is not your assignment. Every project is not your assignment. Sometimes and that's where being connected, I guess, to your higher power or whatever your source of getting your direction.
Yeah, that's where it comes in at.
It comes into play. It's knowing when to move and when not.
And everybody has their own fights, too. Because I know me, if I seen something racist happen to one of my brothers or my sisters, I'm in there with them. I don't care. I'm in there.
Right.
But if I see, like, just some kind of, like, a argument that I know I could probably settle by saying, yo, bro, come over here, I'm out.
Yeah.
Facts.
I'm the one that's.
She might drag them.
I to see, like, what's happening? No, close the door, or let's go.
Well, I'm always on like, well, let me tell y'all. But I think I'm going into this just before 2020 came. I did a lot of just revisiting a lot of those moments in my life. I'm like, you know what? There is a way to just approach things differently. Maybe my approach wasn't always the best. I don't always have the best approach. That's one thing I can say about me. I'm very passionate, and I'm very fiery. So sometimes I might say something at first and say it just very and like I feel like nobody's listening. So then I'm like, well, there is a rape. No, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, then you got to change your tone.
It's like, no. So I have to figure out how to approach different situations depending on the environment, the people, you know, so like.
That's huge, because like the most important thing is like when you, in the moment, anytime, especially I feel like when there's like a business component to it or just like a social component to somebody that ultimately they're not going to go home, they're not going to pay your bills, they're not going to take care of your family.
Facts.
There needs to be, emotion needs to be removed from it. Especially like getting your point across to that person's not going to change.
No, it's not going to change anything.
Right?
True.
But I think like the balance of, because there are times like even me, I remove emotion from anything outside of my home But even me, sometimes it's like, yo, I know what I'm saying is right, and you gotta hear this shit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like you have to hear this. So, there's that tough. I see what you're saying. Oh, I do have a good question though. So like growing up, what you do in as far as like comedy and music, like was there some kind of restraint in your household or
And
your
Zozo,
family?
we want to hear about it.
Yeah, like
I be on here like, yo, she be talking open, putting guys up.
yeah. What's
Just
the
open.
family saying? I want to hear about that.
My mom hates it. My mom hates
I need to hear her.
it.
I need to hear what she's saying.
And I said I'm not gonna do it anymore. And I told my mom, I was like, I won't do it anymore.
Did she just tell you to stop?
She's been not liking that, but
could only
I think
imagine.
that I think
I need to
that
hear it.
just for me, I think that what makes it funny for me is just like that's just how me and my friends talk. Like we're like, ooh, girl, let me like,
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
So
No,
then,
I get it.
So then when you do it online, it's just like everybody's chiming in. But I think that the disconnect from my mom is just like my mom's like, no, I don't want to be Pookie's side. Why you do that? You know, like it's like she's just so hurt. She thinks like I'm really out here like testing out dicks. I don't know. I don't know what she, and so it's like I always have to like convince her like, Ma, it's a joke. She's like, no, Pascal, everyone think you have all these Zozo at your house. You know what I'm saying?
All the Zozos at your
So it's like, I don't want her to, Haitian parents are very dramatic. So dramatic.
Yeah.
And
Tell them about a dream your mom had. Every
my
Haitian person.
God.
I
Your
had
mom
a
tells
dream.
you I had a dream,
Yo,
child. It's over. Whatever
You gotta
plans you
stay
had,
home.
cancel that.
Like
Cancel.
do nothing.
Oh,
I had a
cancel.
dream.
I don't care if you got to go to the Grammys.
The prom, the
Grammys are
Grammys.
canceled.
It's canceled.
It's canceled.
Done.
It's
If
no,
your
it's
mom
done.
had a dream, it's over.
The Grammys are canceled. Yeah. So literally, for me, I'm just like, oh, I had to sit her down and explain to her, it's jokes, like, did you ever joke about Zozo? No. So it's like she can't relate. But I do feel like what's good about what I've done, I think, is that I've always included my culture, just whether it was in the stuff I upload on social media or whether I'm doing a red carpet event, and I just let out a couple Creole words or a couple phrases, or if it's in my music, like I've always taken my culture with me because I just wanted to be cool, to speak Creole. Like you see Spanish everywhere, you see so many other cultures celebrated, but I feel like Creole is still one of those languages. It's like when you see people speaking them on television, the subtitles are still weird. Like people still act like they can't be resourceful and, translate correctly.
Yeah.
Right.
Just things like that. So I feel like that's always been my reason for including it in everything.
So let's talk a bit about your music. Let's talk about also your purpose when it comes to music and just your kind of goals when it comes to that space.
Yeah. I mean, music, I've always sang. Like, I grew up singing in church. My mom and my dad met in church. My dad, before he was, Lord, that's another podcast. But my dad and my mom met in church. My grandmother, who my dad's mom, her name was Joyeuse Juste, and if you say that name in Montreal, it's a big deal. Like, she had a big ministry, big women's ministry.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And it would bring out hundreds, sometimes thousands of people on Friday nights. In the Haitian culture, we have this thing called Cri de Minuit, which is kind of like in American culture, it's revival. And we have Cri de Minuit and we have Jeûne. Jeûne is like a spiritual service that happens Saturday mornings, and everybody comes, everybody's head is wrapped, and you're there for hours praying and singing and just praying and just interceding. And my grandma had a huge ministry doing that, and that's where my mom and my dad met.
Oh, wow.
My dad was preaching. My mom became a choir director. So literally, my earliest memories are singing.
Wow.
And my mom always said that, as soon as I could walk, like if the choir was up singing. Like, I walked up to the front of the church and I was right there like, hey, how you doing? Me. Like, I can sing too. So I always sang, but throughout my childhood, I think my mom didn't know how to support that other than sing in church. Like, Haitian parents, they want you to sing in church. Right. You're not singing outside of church. That is the devil's music. That is, everything is a devil. Everything. This is devil's juice. This is everything is the devil, okay? So my mom didn't know how to support that outside of that. And then when I became grown, I remember going to high school. I started going to, studios. But being a young girl, not having the support, I ran into a lot of dark times, like dark moments. And
let's talk about mental health. Let's dig into that too.
Yeah, I think it was bad. It was bad for my mental. I think that the industry is very harsh on women because you do have obviously you have the sexual stuff, but then also like there's things that people don't talk about, like the things that women get told about your appearance, like, well, you don't look a certain way, so you're not pretty. I've had people tell me that you're not pretty, you're dark. Like, I've had producers flat out tell me that. Yeah, like, you're dark. You know what I mean? Like,
you need to start saying names when they say that.
You just start, or they're like, well, you just stick to writing, so there will be years and years where I just stuck to writing, but people will steal your songs. There's a lot of times when I did a lot of references for people, and they'd keep my vocals, and like, you don't get the credit. You know what I'm saying? So crazy. I ran into a lot of different things that just discouraged me over time. And I was like, this is just not working. At the same time, when I got to college, I went to college for journalism. And then being in Miami, a lot of times when you watch television and you watch the news, it's more Hispanic focused. So it was hard. A lot of my friends who were Black who went to school for journalism, they left Miami. They went to Timbuktu somewhere. They went to Utah. I wasn't finna go to Alaska to start my career. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, sorry. But I just had a lot going on. And so when I finished college 4 years ago, I was like, I'm gonna just go to New York. I don't know what the fuck gonna happen, but I'm gonna just go to New York and see what happens. And then I came here, and that was just like, New York is just, Lord.
Concrete jungle.
Yeah. New York is that girl. And she's that girl for a reason, because you really got to strap up your boots to make it here. But I feel like the hardships I faced here really made me who I am. Like, I always knew I was a strong person, but coming here really, it showed me what I can do, because everybody here is chasing something.
Oh yeah.
What kind of experiences did you have that kind of define who you are?
The train.
Patience.
The train. I feel like, when I first moved to New York, I was like, oh my God, I love the train. Oh, the number 2 train. Sometimes I can catch the 5 train. And figured it out. And that slowly turned into, oh no, the fucking train. Like, I cannot do this train. Like, I cannot. These people is crazy. They spit on you. They push you. Every time y'all got a moment. Can I have a moment of y'all time?
Oh, yeah.
You already know what time it is when you hear that.
While you're listening to something, you're like, damn,
yo, they about to start performing. They got their kids on there begging you for money. It's just like, it just became this thing. It was like, oh my gosh, like riding the train went from a great experience to just testing me every day, going to work. And then also, I think looking for a job. With all the education that I have, still, when you come to New York, everybody looking for a job. And we're talking about millions and hundreds of millions of people are looking for the same job you're looking for.
Well, my question is, how do you not get discouraged, right? Because I feel like there's a lot of people out there that get discouraged. You know what I mean? Like you're looking for jobs, you can't find it. You new in a new environment, whether that's New York or wherever they moved to. How did you not get discouraged?
I was hungry. I think just point blank simple. I still got discouraged, but I just didn't give up. Like I would go to work all the time crying. Like it got to a point where I would go to work crying. Like I would be on the train crying to go to work. I'm about to open the door and I'm crying. I'm like, God, I do not want to be here anymore. Like I want to be on red carpets. I want to be on television. You know, I was taking acting classes and I couldn't keep up with it because of my job schedule. And then I remember one day I went to work and they were like, you're fired. And I was like, God, I wanted to leave. I ain't want to get fired.
I know you gonna do it like that.
Yeah, like I was like, well, this is the remix. This is not the original. This is the remix. This is not what I asked for, Lord. So, you know, and I remember around that time I had just got an apartment. So I didn't know what the hell I was gonna do. Like every day I was discouraged. But I think I don't know. I come from the women in my family are very, very strong. My mom, she was a single mom, 4 kids. You know what I mean? My aunts, my cousins, everybody just worked so hard. And so I remember even in the midst of all that, I didn't ask anybody for help. And when I look back, that was not a good decision because when you're down and out, you should ask for help. Yep. But I think that was my pride. I was like, well,
a lot of people let their pride lead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, I moved here. I got to figure it out. That bell ringing, I feel like I was hearing that every day. Like the clock was ticking. Like, what am I going to do? Literally every day. Rings. What am I going to do? So I think that I just didn't give up. I was discouraged, but I didn't give up.
I think that's definitely one of the biggest things is like while we're going through what we're going through is not giving up. I mean, I know anyone who's in this room knows what that's like.
Yeah.
We're always doing something even now. It's like it's just not giving up on yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The biggest blessings are on the other side of like all that adversity.
Mm-hmm. So but it just sounds so cliche because you're like, don't
good,
give
right?
up, keep going, be inspired. You know, and everyone gets tired of hearing that. But the truth of the matter is that's what works.
Yeah.
Prayers, dedication, like being committed to why you started, I think is probably one of the biggest things. Is like, I'm doing this because this is what I want and I'm not going to give up until I get to it. And then you keep going. Past there is the next goal. Yeah. But it's setting goals and then not giving up.
Yeah. I like what you said, being committed to why you started.
You got to have that. Because if you don't have that why, I think, in your head, you have nothing to go fall back on. No. So when you're like, I can't, you know what, I forgot. I told myself, like, I got to do this. Is this or you're not gonna be happy? No. You know?
Yeah.
Now has your show affected your dating life with guys or guys approaching you? Yeah, like being on the show last year. Is it attracting?
Oh no, man! Listen, I've done so many things post that show that I shouldn't have because I was on it, but God is faithful.
What I'm asking you about is dating. Are the
he said cut to the chase.
Are the right guys approaching
dating,
you?
I mean, dating. What is that?
Do you have a man?
No. What is that?
What is a man?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
He is in front of
That's
you. Men are
I'm not
in
dating.
the room.
That's how much I'm not dating. Like I'm not.
Oh, you just
no, I don't date.
Just because of the time, like you focus, or is
I
it
just
like
think guys
you
are
off
weird.
That? So you date
They're
women?
Different.
No,
I don't dating women.
I don't date women.
Did I say something bad?
No. I mean, I don't date women, but I don't date.
Period.
No.
All right. Is there a category for that?
Are you looking to be in a relationship?
I would love to, but I'm not dating, so I don't know how that's gonna happen.
It's asexual. You just not interested in.
She's interested, but she's saying that they're weird. Like
they're weird. Like men are weird. Just men are weird.
They're different.
I think
you're a married man. It's a lot different.
Exactly. Okay. See, so no.
Yeah.
Men are weird. Like.
Explain yourself.
Have you dated all different races?
No, I would love to date.
So you gotta open up. You might just be dating one weird race or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or one weird type.
No, the thing is, I think that men sometimes, like, if they know who you are, they feel like they gotta act a certain way, and they gotta like
Don't
they
start.
gotta just do dumb. It just be dumb. It's just I don't got.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But like,
Some.
What did you say?
do you not remember? You were sitting right there.
What did you say?
That he tried to say that he feels like guys have to do certain things in order if you're in the industry and in the spotlight.
guys don't-
because you're in the industry that they have to act and do things a certain way.
Because in normal places where most women, regular women, meet guys, are places that you will not be in. Right?
That's not true.
That's
That's not necessarily true. I'm gonna tell you. Yeah.
I go
Y'all
everywhere.
can't walk to Walmart or
That
in
is not
Walmart
true. I go to
walking on your house
Target.
shoes.
I go
That's
everywhere.
what I
Same.
hear you. I hear you, but
You
you're
don't
not.
hear me, though.
Are you up for the
Same.
conversation? Excuse me, ma'am. Can I help you
It
with
depends
that?
on how you approach the person.
Exactly.
Now, if you come like a weirdo, you just stand at the ends of the aisle, just like staring, and then you're like,
Is that what
"Hey,
happens?
Now you're weird. Now you're
Hey,
creep.
Or like
I've
for
seen it.
me, I just have like.
what's the right approach? I'm
It'll be
sorry.
like I feel like sometimes people just approach me really stupidly. Like
Yo, what's
I
up,
was
ma?
I was at a baby shower the other day, and there weren't a lot of seats, and there was like a seat that I was trying to get to, and somebody took it, and this guy was sitting somewhere else. He was like, "Oh, you can have my seat." I'm like, "All right, cool." He's like, "Tell me a joke though."
See, that's weird.
I
Right.
respect it.
Like, tell me a joke though. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't got no Zozo joke or nothing. You know what I mean? Like, just
No, now,
He
now
wants you to
you,
dance with
right.
the seat.
Just
Nah,
it's
he's
weird.
Not, I'm not cooning
like,
for your
it's
seat,
right.
bro.
It's just
No.
exactly.
Yeah.
Just things like he
Yeah, I'm
wanted
not
me to
doing that.
coon for my seat. Like it
No.
was just like I
I said
did.
you could have your seat.
No, literally, I sat down and I just ignored him. I was like, because my feet was hurting, so I was like, let me just sit down. But literally, like, just moments like that is just like, I'm not gonna want to talk to you. I'm sorry. Like,
But all right, what's the right approach? Because it's like the guy's gonna you gotta when you have a position of some kind of influence. Guys see you on TV. Guys see your success. They know about you elsewhere. That moment is their moment that they're going to bump into you. They're gonna freeze up. They're gonna shit on yourself. Tell me a joke.
I sure hope you aren't.
Like some guys are gonna do that, but it might be the guy of your dreams that just shit
Well,
on
then he
himself.
No,
on the
just
you're not
floor.
the
his
guy in my
chance. And if he
dreams,
did
if
that, he
that's-
needs to go ahead and go get some diapers.
no.
What's the
What?
right
The
approach?
guy of my dreams is not going to be. I feel like sometimes it's just disrespectful. Just certain approaches. It's like, don't approach me like you already know me. If you're trying to get to know me.
How
You
do
know what I
you
mean?
approach said person that you don't know?
Hi, nice to meet you. What's your
Right.
name? Hi. Just
Right.
That simple.
Start
Hey.
from scratch.
Hey,
Right.
you know, we're at a setting where there's an open bar or whatever. Like, I know you ain't paying for the drink, but damn, just do you want me to go get you something to drink real quick? Like something. You know what I mean? Like, just be normal, act normal.
What's gonna be your response?
Sure, yes. A bitch is thirsty.
Sure, yes.
No, but I'm just saying, like, just be normal. Like, I feel that sometimes men, because they assume that you're hanging around certain people and you're really not. Like, I'm pretty sure you can attest to that. You probably lead a very normal life. You go to the grocery store.
I'm pretty normal.
You go pick up your child.
Katrina, you agree? I'm not normal.
I mean, okay.
The reality is you're in the line.
Well, I mean, you can't be
The
normal,
other side
right?
is
But you can be
Right.
normal, but you're just in front of folks.
Day-to-day
Right.
life is very normal.
Right.
Minus like a couple things that would be abnormal. Not even abnormal.
All right, don't put everything on front.
Minus like one or two things that wouldn't be a part of the average person's routine, their daily routine.
You know what I will say, even to like our friendship is
But
very normal.
everything else,
Like
how she moves and lives and dresses and acts outside of that is just like everybody
I
else.
agree. But you can't be normal in certain situations.
What you mean?
You can't, like, she can't be normal in certain. You can't be normal in certain
Why I
situations.
can't? I'm always normal.
Girl,
I will be dressed in a ball gown, normal.
Angela,
right. But
I'm
Cut
not
it
dressed
out.
in a ball gown,
Right.
normal.
come on.
No,
You
but
act like
you're
yourself.
talking about certain. You're talking about there's certain instances where
She can't. There's
like,
no way.
you can't go walk through the mall.
You
I
cannot.
can go through the mall though.
Okay.
You have, but
All
it's
right.
literally like,
Yeah,
Can we
you
film
walk
it?
through the mall.
Can we film?
Yes,
Can we
you
bring
film it,
cameras?
You're gonna see how
All right.
normal it is.
Okay.
Roosevelt
Now,
Field, my
peop-
old
now-
hometown. Take me.
Now,
All right.
people are gonna stop
I'm not.
you
I'll
from-
stay. I'm gonna stay 10 steps behind
you're
you.
gonna spend an
'Cause
extra
I don't
hour
have the
and a half, 2 hours
time.
in there than you would any other time. time?
No, like 20 minutes extra.
No, I don't have.
An hour and a
And then, and this is another case. If you rolling with me, I'm not going to let some random guy run down on, yo, Angela, let me holler. I'm gonna be like, yo, she's good, bro.
How do you do it? Yo.
She's good, bro. If I'm with you and we walking and let's go out for drinks, cool. And some random guys run down on you, I'm like, yo, bro, chill. I'm gonna look at you like, you good? Like there's gonna be a buffer anywhere you go.
Of course, obviously there are certain. Yeah, obviously there are gonna be moments.
There's ways to do it.
There's still right. There's
Say the
still
way,
ways.
because nobody gave them the blueprint.
There's
I'm
no
talking to all my
blueprint.
guys
You gotta
out there.
be organic and natural.
Yeah.
Just do it.
That's their natural reaction. You telling them to not to be the natural reaction.
Well,
tell
you
me
know
a
what?
joke.
What's meant to be will be. That's how I feel.
You know what? I think the best piece of advice is just don't be I don't want this to sound a certain way. But if you're trying to get with someone who is in the limelight, and I think that this goes for guy or girl, don't approach that person like a fan. Just don't approach them like you're being a fan. The moment you approach it that way, that's it.
over.
It's over.
So don't say, tell me a joke.
Don't say, tell me a joke.
Fellas,
don't say, yo, Angela, I got an idea for this event, and I would love for you
we
to
can do business all day.
Right, but then that's
You
not
ain't
gonna
get me. Yeah.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
Yeah, guys they trying to find their way. They're just trying to meet somebody good, somebody that
I
can
guess
treat them well.
Guys are weird. I hope that in this new decade that men also learn how to court. I think that's just another thing. Like men just don't know how to court.
What do you
There's no
mean?
courting.
Well, I court my wife.
We're not
day.
talking about
Married
you. We're not
man.
talking about you.
Well, you can't say I'm a man.
talking
You can't say
about
that men don't court. I'm a man.
You are a man. Oh,
That's actually I enjoy.
We're not talking about you.
understand that, but
we're
men
talking
court.
about men in general.
I know
like
this gentleman over
single
here.
men
He's a single
who
man
don't
and he
know how
courts
to
women.
court.
He's not a player. He
He's
courts
putting
women.
you on. He said go on a date.
I know this brother right here.
whole brothel.
Huh?
Oh,
Who got a brothel?
You said he courts women.
right.
Sounds a little
I said he's a
like-
single man, but if he was, I know
You
his.
did make it sound like he running a brothel.
Women. He said
Women.
women.
He knows how to
not
treat
women.
a lady.
Men's.
This brother here, he knows how to treat. This man right here with the blue hair, he knows how to treat a lady.
How do you court your wife and keep things?
Yeah, how did you?
How do I? I mean, I'll tell her like, hey, excuse me. Well, we met in high school.
See, they got the cute story.
Oh.
It's not
We
like
met
the
in high
rough
school.
ones where you're like, I didn't know if I even liked this dude. And then,
They loved each other from day one. Oh,
Nah, for real. I mean, I don't think she loved me, but I loved her
Out
at
the
first
gates.
sight, off the rip. I was like, I need that. I want to follow her home, literally. That's some weird shit. She was so beautiful.
Nah, I don't
me,
wanna just follow
almost
you home.
Like, can I just
Does your
follow
wife
you
know
home? Yeah, I told her all these
Okay.
crazy ass stories. But yeah, she was special to me, and it was just like it was mutual. You know what I mean? But the way we keep our relationship going
sweet.
now is
Oh.
like I know what she likes. She knows what I like. She'll sit through a Knicks game, know they about to lose, but be like, she will
Not
encourage
knowing they
me.
about to lose.
Yeah, she
Knowing they
act like
about
she
to
don't know
lose.
what's about to happen. Like, oh, we got this one.
can't.
now we got this one the whole time knowing.
Yeah, like, oh, this is gonna be bad. But in reality, like we go on dates a lot. We, dinners. We'll get dressed up, go places, concerts.
You're a great example.
Right.
Aw.
Right.
We need to get her in the lab.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's awesome.
Absolutely, she's the dopest.
I've
She's-
talked to
Literally, like, okay,
what you see here is
I'll give
all
you.
her
I'll give
work,
you an
not mine.
example of one thing. One thing a guy did I didn't like. So I met a guy during Kwanzaa crawl. I don't know if you guys know what Kwanzaa.
Yeah,
crawl
I
is.
happened
That's
to be
like
out
last
there.
week.
I was in
Yo.
Brooklyn.
How
you
was
did
it?
Oh, you did it?
No, I almost did, and then when I got there, there was no one there. So
What time did you go?
I don't know. We were late.
You were mad late. But so I was at one bar and like, I'm just like in the cut, whatever, and my friend, like, she sees this guy and she's like, yo, she invites him over to come talk to us. And, I don't think he had any idea who I was, which was great. So, we're talking and I asked him for his Instagram. He was like, no, I'm too grown for that. Let me get your number. I'm like, all right, cool. We exchanged numbers. Cool.
He a hoe. That's what Katrina said.
Yo. But you know what? I'm gonna get to that. But so So we exchanged numbers. All right, cool. So I don't hear. This was like on the 26th of December. I didn't hear from him until New Year's Day. He's like, "Oh, Happy New Year."
Oh wow.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
with his girl. He's busy.
Whatever. Hey, whatever.
You
You gotta play
Right.
house. You gotta
Happy
see how
New
to do.
Year.
Yeah, right. So Happy New Year. I'm like, I think I answered him, and then he asked me what I was up to. But on New Year's Day, like I fell sick with the flu, so I didn't text him back till like 2 days ago. But I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. I was sick with the flu, whatever. He's like, oh, okay, that's what's up.
Not that's what's up.
Right.
Sorry. Get better? How you feeling?
Right.
That's what's
So
up.
right.
better.
So then he went on to ask me all that. So then like in the same text conversation, he asked me like, so what you up to? Like several times. Like, what you up to? I'm like, oh, well, I'm just taking it easy. I'm getting over the flu. And like an hour later, he's like, what you up to now? I'm
The
like,
same thing.
So then I text him back. I said, so how many times are you gonna ask me what I'm up to until you call me? And he was like, oh, LMAO, everybody likes to text.
LMAO.
Busy, right?
Everybody likes to text. Nobody likes to talk anymore. I'm like, no, I'm actually one of those people who doesn't mind getting a phone call or, better yet, going out. He's like, oh, word. All right, that's what's up.
Never heard from him again.
Nothing again.
That man he wanted a pen pal.
Yeah.
You see how it goes?
That's all.
Baby
Like,
wants
he just
pen
wanted
pals.
to text
You
all
be like,
day.
bro, don't just text me and ask me what I'm doing. Why?
Right.
Why?
What you up to? What's
Oh,
up?
man.
What's up?
He
What
wanted
you
a
up
pen
to?
pal.
What's
That's
up? What's up? What's
I be
up?
telling
What's
men,
up?
I don't
What
want
you-
no pen pal now. You can hit me here and there, but if you ain't calling me, FaceTime me, seeing me, going out on dates, this is not official.
This
We are
ain't it.
pen pals.
That's it. So yeah, I think that's what I mean, like just courting, and I don't know. I think men are losing it.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah.
That's tough to say. It might be you and where you're meeting these guys at. It might
was
be.
I mean,
What's
but why
it
do so many
called?
women have the same stories?
Right.
It's where y'all probably in the
And
same
isn't
They
spot.
all entertain the same thing.
Exactly, but it's like it's so many of the same stories,
Yeah.
and some of them even date other races all over the place. Very similar. Some of them are successful here and there once in a while, but it takes a lot more effort now to find like the right thing.
Yeah. Because everybody's pen pals now.
Because you're talking about all these women, yeah.
Yeah. You get on social media, you find a pen pal. Y'all DMing all years ago, like when Instagram first started, like I would find myself DMing somebody like for months.
No phone,
Just
no nothing.
Months. Like I'm in college and like you just months, and it's like, okay, no, I can't do this.
Right.
like,
And
so
successful, beautiful, got their stuff together women, and they can't find nobody.
yeah.
Yeah, standards is too high. That's what it is.
Negative.
So what are the standards? So what should our standards be?
Well,
Wait. So what should our standards
put
be?
Katrina on the camera so we can know she ain't got no standards.
Lies.
So what should
We didn't
be,
get a chance for Katrina.
So what should be our standards?
Well, I think some of the barriers have to be removed. There's barriers now or checkpoint. You got all right, cool. Let me see. All right, you look good, cool. All right, you're talking about great things. Let me see your social media. What you said. Let me check this nigga's social media. Okay, he only got 8 followers. That's crazy. He only has 8 followers.
Oh, that is not what you look
No.
at.
Hold on. You asked me for something. Subconsciously, you're looking, all right, cool. That's not normal nowadays for you to have 8 followers. All right, cool. 8 followers. All right, cool. Like,
Why you gotta
he's
act it out,
into,
though? Like,
because
he's
I'm just
on-
saying, like,
man is not on
you have
Instagram.
that,
Well-
and then it's like, all right, cool. He rather text as opposed to calling
Well, the thing
without
is, in
setting
that
those standards.
conversation,
Though.
he told me he didn't have Instagram. He's like, oh, I don't have Instagram. Mind you.
But you asked for it though, because that was a
Yeah,
checkpoint for you. You want to see that.
Well, because I wasn't gonna ask him for his number. I
Yeah,
didn't
you
know
just-
All right,
where.
respect. I understand that.
I didn't
I
know
get
where
that.
the conversation was gonna go. So I was just like, we'll
me
follow
get
each
your
other,
Instagram.
whatever.
Copy.
But he told me he didn't have an Instagram. So then when he started WhatsApping me to death, I went online to look for his Instagram, and he had an Instagram.
I have a question for you. So,
So why you lying about having Instagram?
But I want y'all to be as vulnerable as possible here and just be honest. If you see a man's, if he's taking you met him in person, he's everything that you like in person, but on social media he takes bad. You know the fuzzy pictures.
I ain't gonna lie. He did have a receding hairline on his IG. Nah, I didn't see the.
He had on the hat. You know he had on the hat.
He had on a hat at the, at Kwanzaa Crawl. On Instagram,
on the
his
hat.
hairline was definitely missing. So I was a little taken.
That's stress. He's
I was
stressing over you.
I was taken aback, but I was willing to.
Yo, his hairline was taking it back.
I was taking it back.
His head was taking it back.
I was taking it back, but I was willing to look past that. You know.
I mean, you could work on that.
Right.
Instagram is like, come on, it's
Yeah.
not that
So,
deep.
like, if he's taking bad pictures on
Just
social
always tell them
media,
delete it. Get rid of it. If you cannot uphold it, just delete it. There's no point in having bad content. Like, just delete it. Let it go. Let's move on. We can do better things.
We can
Especially
do-
if you're like a great businessman. Let's just focus on
Right.
Let's
that. You
focus
need me
on
to
that.
help you out with that, or like get
I'll
somebody.
handle the
we
social
can hire
media.
somebody to do that for you.
all right.
It's not a problem.
It's not a problem. I agree.
So that's not an issue.
No. I would tell him
Everyone's
to delete
strength
it
is
too.
not
If we
there.
would have gotten there, I would have told him, okay, I'm gonna need you to delete this.
Or start from scratch.
Yeah, start from
something.
scratch.
Gotcha.
Yeah, start from scratch.
But there's stranger barriers now, and sometimes men need guidance too. Like if you texting him, like you just tell him, hey, I like talking on the phone. That might be your dream guy needing a bit of guidance.
Yeah, sometimes I think we all need a little guidance because
Yeah.
you're still learning someone.
Yeah.
You always can figure it out, like you know.
Yeah, but this year I definitely, going back to what you were saying, dating outside my race, I definitely want to try that.
It's good to be open.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
just never know. Sometimes you just gotta spread your wings, figure out what's out
sometimes.
there.
I've never been into like pink meat or nothing, but I definitely.
What?
I'm sorry, say that again for me.
I wouldn't mind.
I'm sorry,
Trying.
say that again.
She said what you heard, and she heard you heard what she
That's
said.
a new one. That is a new one. But moving
It's
on.
2020, so.
That's not okay in 20. Moving on from this conversation, though, I will say this. Just like an interview or anything like that, you need to have your 3 questions or 2 questions that you can ask a guy beyond that first impression.
You
'Cause
got kids?
That's a solid question.
I got all questions. Are you dating, married? dating
Does
someone
anybody
else?
think? Does anybody
Wait.
think they're with you
No,
right
you
now?
gotta ask all of that
Yeah.
because it's like, no, I told you when I met you. Because all of a sudden you find that girl.
No.
I told you that I had people.
I'm with
no,
you.
no, no,
No,
no, no,
you
no,
didn't tell me all that, huh?
Maybe months later, you'd be like, time out. Now I
Yeah.
thought we were dating. So
Right, right.
you have a full life, like real life. I didn't know.
Yeah, you've had that
Yup,
experience.
definitely.
Yeah.
Damn.
You find out later. You just be sitting there.
Men be
so-
having whole side families. Families they hiding from the world.
Wow.
You find out later. It just is what it is. I mean,
That's no good, brothers out there. We can't.
Now you know damn
We gotta
well.
do, brother. No, I don't.
Not
associate
you
myself
personally,
With,
but
no, I don't associate myself with stuff like that at all.
okay, good.
At all.
he's a good boy.
You a good
At all.
Haitian man.
good husband.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good
Because
man.
I know from experience how Haitian men are.
Okay,
So,
I was gonna
you know what I'm
say.
saying? Like I
Haitian man will have that whole side family back in Port-au-Prince. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, girl.
Yeah.
Run for your life.
That's a normal
sis.
occurrence. That's just if you heard that, you wouldn't be surprised. Like,
No.
oh, okay.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense, right?
But the thing about Haitian men, they make their money stretch. So all their side families get taken care of.
Oh my god.
Everybody got new shoes.
I'm Haitian
school.
and I have one family, and that's what's gonna happen for the rest of my life.
Bless.
Yeah. No, but this is an interesting conversation because we always talk about relationships.
I mean, yeah, we always have to bring it up at the end. It's just
Always,
it's
it's
something
important.
interesting to know people. I mean, where people are at in
Yeah.
their life with their relationships.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it can change at any moment. I might come in there one day and be like, I'm married, so.
Oh,
And then we
just
can have
like
a new-
that.
I'm for
no
that.
wedding?
Why not? Just drop the marriage.
Just a what?
Drop
No
the
wedding?
marriage. That's it.
Yeah, I'm married, y'all.
Katrina's
So go
looking
ahead
away.
on. Go ahead on with the episode.
I'm
married.
not married yet, and I'm not even in a relationship yet. but
Oh
I was-
my
Drop the
God.
marriage.
Put it out there.
You gonna
I'm
drop
married.
the marriage like
Why not?
lemonade?
Drop it.
You gonna just drop
Drop
it like
the
lemonade?
marriage.
Just
Why not?
Oh man, it's just gonna be on title in the morning.
People, I feel like people should know what they want. Like, you should know what you want.
Nah,
Listen.
what?
It's not that.
Turn that camera, brother.
What you mean? There are men out here who literally like they know they want to marry. They know they want to marry you. They meet you. I've seen it. I've seen it.
You're not gonna get to know the person. You gotta get to know what.
How long before
I'll
marriage?
get to
That's the
know
question.
you.
How long?
I'll get
when
to know
meet
you on the
someone before marriage?
honeymoon.
At least a year.
But is there a time on it?
No, 3 to 5.
I don't got a year.
Is there a time on it though?
I don't got a year.
You really feel like there's a time on it, or is it
2 months, I know. It's gonna be long term or if it's
3 to 5 minutes?
We might as
3
well
to
go our
5
separate
years.
ways. Within 2 months.
That's ridiculous. If you're 40 and you want to have kids, you're saying you're gonna 3 to 5 year me?
You can freeze them eggs. Figure it out.
Ain't nobody freezing no eggs.
Especially just to turn around 5 years later and still marry you after I've been chilling here looking at you
Right.
for 5 years?
Right.
Absolutely not.
Well, we gotta go through some ups and downs. We gotta see.
We can do that within a couple of.
We need. All you need is 4 seasons. All you need is 4 seasons.
It's crazy because you do what you don't. Because even once you get married, you still gotta go through things. That's the thing. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's why.
Yeah.
How do you know you want to live with this person?
Hold on. Let's gather the conversation. We go here.
I said the deal breakers and all that because I said 2 months. Within 2 months, I know whether or not it's going to be something long term or if I'm really, if I wake up tomorrow, I'm not reaching out. I know that within a 2-month span, right? And so I was telling him that he was like, "Oh, so you get married in 2 months?" I was like, "If that was where both of us felt like we were at, absolutely. I don't." Like it's not a matter of.
Why are you shaking your head? Why not?
That's some 90-day fiance shit. That ain't reality.
Within that time, you would have had you should have had all the preliminary conversations, your likes, your dislikes, your deal breakers, what works, where your future's headed, where your present is right now.
No, you don't even know what they look like in the summertime. You don't.
No.
You gotta see how you.
The sun still rises and sets the same way.
No, not in New York.
Regardless of the season.
No, you gotta see them seasons change. You gotta.
Yourself well
Talking about
enough.
outfits and stuff.
No, I'm not.
You can tell them to do a photo shoot. You talking about that.
What I'm saying is that people change when the time. You remember your guy going to Curl Fest? You won't know that in.
Oh yeah, they were both whole hoes.
Yeah, exactly, and you don't know that until Curl Fest.
I'm looking in the background. It's all this like melanin and hair. And I'm like, yo, y'all are you at Curl Fest? Like we normally do brunch every Saturday, and we can't go to brunch because you.
The dude?
Yes.
Yeah.
Girl Fest wasn't even.
Oh, they knew where to
They
go.
knew where it was
like,
at.
There's no parking at Prospect Park.
Nah.
So you had to park wherever.
And
So you
walk.
ain't stumble into Curl Fest like
No,
that was an
you
intention.
Oh,
Yeah.
we just gonna walk. Oh, so and so's doing a birthday party in the park, but it happens to be the same weekend.
Get out of here.
You're bugging.
Nah.
But
Nah.
I'm saying,
King, don't lie, King.
2 months time, like a small amount of time, maybe not 2 months exactly, where two people felt like, you know what, this is it.
And then
But
it
there's
works
no way-
though.
Yeah.
I've seen people wait 5 years, get married, and break up and get a divorce. So what you saying?
Like that's part of it.
Is there a time or is there no time?
Yeah.
Well, things always change too. Like I told y'all before, me and my wife had to meet each other about 9 different times.
Right.
Ups, downs, lefts, rights.
That happens
Like-
though.
That's the thing. It's like, why do people feel like it's gonna change? Like, oh, I gotta date you for years and years and years, and then when we get married, we're not gonna have ups and downs then either.
It's gonna be the same thing.
It's gonna be the same thing.
I think it's case by case.
You gotta see. You gotta see how somebody deals with adversity.
Yo, Jess, you start dating a guy 2 years
I need
ago.
at least 4 seasons.
No, but hold on. Yeah, that makes sense. But you start dating a guy 2 years ago. Fast forward to now, or even what the end of this year is going to look like for you. He's not going to know how to react to you on a red carpet and XYZ giving you a hug.
The last person I was dating, it was kind of like that.
They're
like
not gonna know.
I started dating him before things started going a certain way for me, and he was a great guy, but I feel like he had insecurities.
That's tough.
He had insecurities. Like, if I went to certain events and I took pictures with certain people, like I remember I took a picture with what's that guy, the rapper from Harlem that everybody goes crazy for? Dave East.
Dave East.
I took a picture with Dave East one time. Lord.
It was over.
My God.
I mean,
I didn't hear the end of that. Like, it was the way you position, and I don't know, your booty was touching the inner part of his
look at the.
like, he just was reaching for
Not
the
your
star.
booty was touching the inner part.
Like it was
Zooming in on that
he
thing.
Was breaking,
2 fingering
He
it.
was breaking it down. Like, meanwhile, it's like, yo, literally, like, that's
Look at this.
Yeah.
Look.
And then, like, it turned into my boys and I. We was looking at the picture. Like, it turned
The
into,
boys don't
His boys
help.
put the
Yeah.
bag. Yeah, the boys
They
put the
are
bag in his back.
typing it.
Yeah, they put
You
the bag
see
in his
this?
back.
You let your girl do this?
I see it now. Yo, nah.
Yeah.
That
Look,
2
bro.
finger zoom in?
Meanwhile, literally, it was a security guard that put me there and literally had his hand ready for me.
It don't matter. You don't gotta explain
push me out
yourself.
the way when I was done. Like,
You don't need
literally.
to explain yourself.
But I'm just saying,
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
so
I mean, you need a secure man.
But
Yeah.
there you go though, because it's like changes, right? Because life changes, business changes, the way the world sees you changes. Like, you got your partner don't know.
You experience all those changes?
No,
But sometimes
I see what you're
people
saying
grow
too.
out of
I
love
see
too.
what you're saying.
Like I think there's so much room for change in general that you have to be kind of open. I think if you become so like this is how it's gonna go. I mean, like think about where we thought we would be when we were a certain age versus where we're at now.
Yeah.
Like you can't like predict that. So if this is what you and that person want to agree to do, cool. I mean, if it you pray for the best and you hope that you guys are gonna stay together and you're not gonna get a divorce, God forbid. But like it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just it's life.
There's a certain kind of guy that could date a woman like women are like, yeah. I'm just
Stop categorizing us. We're women.
I'm just telling you this.
Child.
Oh, man, that's confidence. Balance. I think all of this goes down to balance. What we lacking is the balance. The men are too overly masculine. They lacking the feminine side. So that's why women are able to win because they've had to be so masculine in this world. They have to provide for themselves and things of that nature. So they already have the feminine side because they're females. Men are just go get your money, do all of this. But women can get their money on their own now. They don't need a man to get their money. So it's really just finding the balance, and that's what men are lacking in the world. So that's why they gotta catch up, get in touch with your feminine side. It's find that balance.
Yeah, right. Everything's definitely about balance.
Yeah. Agreed.
That was a good conversation.
It was a great conversation. I want to know more about what you're working on, though, because like and what we can expect from you. Anything that you want to push, let the people know.
Yeah,
about.
I mean, my EP Moods of a Cancer is out. It did really, really well.
I downloaded it.
You did?
I got it.
And you played Vacation.
I played several songs. I be putting them up on my story.
You did. Every time you play something, people would be like, oh my God, Angela's playing your songs. And I remember the first time I noticed, I was like, oh, that touched my soul. That made me feel good. Made me feel gushy inside.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I mean, I remember when I was about to put it out, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna put this out because, people don't like to take people who've been on television or if they see you on social media, they don't take you serious with your music.
Yeah, it's tough.
So I was like, I don't know. But then I remember when I put it out and like Forbes picked it up and it was number 2 on the R&B charts on iTunes. So now that it's done what it's done, I feel confident now. So I'm gonna actually start recording the next one.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope.
So I'm gonna go to Atlanta soon and Miami soon. I look forward to working with like Rico Love. There's a guy named SK in Atlanta, Sean Penn in Atlanta. So I think this next one's gonna be this one was good.
It was your starter, you said.
Yeah.
That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah. But now I'm like, okay, now that I know like people gonna rock with it, like I know I could really put my foot in it this time.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to hearing some more.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. I appreciate it.
And we appreciate you coming out. I know you were not feeling too well.
I know.
You pushed through this.
I did.
I got
Don't catch the flu. Don't catch the flu.
I'm going
Get
home to
your
put
flu.
so much echinacea down my throat.
Please. Like, I've never
can't.
had the flu before, and I thought I was going home to glory. I really did. I thought I was just see you at the crossroads. I was done.
We're gonna get you the Louis Masker tea rub.
Yes,
down. You're
please.
gonna be good. You're gonna be all right. So I guess in closing, we kind of touched on your purpose a bit.
We did, and she said she's evolving, and her purpose is always evolving.
So I guess in closing, you can kind of just tell women who are trying to find their purpose in your industry, just kind of give them like a pathway or a tool that they can kind of move forward with.
Ooh, man, in the industry, I think trust your instinct, trust your gifts. Like, your gifts were given to you by God for a reason. Like, trust your gifts, trust your instincts, and obviously, definitely trust God. And just make sure that all the decisions that you make go back to your why. It's like what you say, like, don't forget your why. So make sure whatever decisions that you're making, it coincides with your why. I think that's the best I can say.
That's dope.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.